Hello everybody, this is John and Kathy with FSD Unsupervised, and we're going to take a little FSD drive today, so let's get that started. Today's going to be a little bit different. We're going to actually do FSD drive, but we're going to do a shout out video. About 25 years ago, I started listening to this radio program, and the radio program is the Dave Ramsey Show. That's the reason why we have what we have today. We didn't have, huge debt or anything like that, but he taught us how to pay it off, got us into a good financial situation. So today we're going to talk about the baby steps. Going to go over each one and give you our opinion of it and talk about FSD. Handled that situation perfectly, by the way. So Kathy, what's the first baby step?
Save $1,000 for starter emergency fund.
Completely agree with this. If you don't have any money in the bank, you need to have an emergency fund. Something always is going to happen. So when you're paying off your debt, if you're just putting everything that you have towards that debt, something comes up. Need a new alternator on your car, battery, anything like that. You have that. Something happens where you have to pay any bill at all that you were not expecting. Now you don't have that money. So $1,000 emergency fund is minimum. What's step number 2?
Pay off all debt except your home.
Okay, this is the one that a lot of people disagree with Dave on. Everybody needs to pay off all their debt. There's different ways on how they do it. The way that Dave explains it is you take whatever debt you have that has the least balance, no matter what the interest rate is, and you pay off the least balance first. Anything after the least balance, you take the money that you were paying on the minimum payment of that one, and you actually throw it on to the next debt. Some people always say that no, what you should do is pay the one off that has the highest interest rate. But what Dave's looking for here is wins.
Yeah, small victories.
Yep, small victories. So if you get that lowest one paid off, that's one that you can cross off your list. If you have a whole bunch of debt like that, you've pretty much proven yourself that you're not very, income orientated or debt orientated to get these bills paid off. So listen to Dave's advice. Pay the one off with the minimum balance, get that off, and then go on to the next one. It's very important to do it that way. What's baby step number 3?
Save 3 to 6 months for emergency fund. Emergency fund.
I agree completely with this one. When something strikes, if you lose your job, if you have a medical problem, all of these things can be devastating. You can lose cars that you have. You could lose house that you have. 3 to 6 months, I think, is the minimum that you should have. 3 months seems a little bit light to me. You have a medical problem, you're usually off at least for a few months, and people that are living
or 6 weeks, I think would be the minimum.
Or 6 weeks,
so
yes.
Definitely over a month.
Yeah, so definitely want to get that to 6 months if possible, as quick as you can, and make sure that you have that amount of money and something that you can get to quickly and readily. If you can't get to it without doing major tricks, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I have to sign, they're gonna send it to me, it's gonna end up taking me a week to get it, that might not be enough time. So it has to be in something. I recommend a high yield savings account. So find yourself a nice high yield savings account. Our high yield savings account right now, if I want to take money out, it actually just is in my account about 2 hours later. So it's very, very fast to get it out of a high yield savings account. So at least have the 3 months, but I definitely recommend the 6 months. All right, what's our next baby step?
invest 15% of household income
to retirement. Yes.
Yes.
Minimum 15%. If you're starting out late like we did, 15% isn't good enough. 25 years ago, that would make me 30 years old. You need to add a little bit more than that. So what we did originally is we had the 15% going into our work IRAs, but we opened up our own Roth IRAs, and at that time they didn't have Roth IRAs for us to open, but we opened up our own Roth IRAs and started stacking money in the Roth IRAs as well. Something to think about. If you're looking for Roth IRAs, everybody has them now. It's very popular. And I recommend the Roth IRA for the tax benefits, but you should talk to somebody and make sure that it's right for you. And baby step number 5.
Save for children's college fund.
This applies to some people. Some people that have children are going to need this for sure. If you're planning on having children, start saving for the college fund. This is one thing that there's a lot of different places that you can put the money for college funds. Something that you really want to research: where the money's going to, what can it be taken out for. A lot of times college funds can be taken out for a child's first home. There's a lot of different ways that you can do that.
If they decide not to go to college.
If they decide not to go, yes. Or if there's extra in there, you just want to make sure that it's the most tax beneficial for you. So speak with a financial advisor or research. Please, everyone, research. What's baby step number 6?
Pay your home off early.
Here's a controversial one for you. Everybody is blasting Dave Ramsey all the time about, why would I pay off my home if I have a 2.9% interest rate? It's a very good point. And again, I'm going to say that if something happens in your life, you don't want to have to go back to, now I have to refinance my house to get money. There's always the contingency that can happen. So please, everyone, this is an important step. If you're past this and you have more money in your investments than you do in your house, I can understand you'd rather do the investment. Right now, it's a higher interest rate environment. So if you bought your home recently, very, very, very important. Stack it in that house. Just get rid of that mortgage payment. Once you get rid of that mortgage payment, life is so much easier. You breathe easier, sleep easier. Yeah, when you have absolutely no debt to pay off except for food, taxes, insurance, it's mind-blowing on how peaceful your life becomes when you don't have to think about that. Very, very important. Pay off your house, pay off your house, pay off your house.
Yep.
The last one?
Build wealth and give.
Build wealth and give. Stack the money in investments. Do real estate. Whatever you're comfortable with whatever you've researched, every little piece of information that you can find, and you understand it inside and out as good as or better than everyone else, invest in that. Keep doing it. Never stop. And one thing that's missing from the 7 baby steps, in my opinion, is making a budget. The first thing that you have to do, even before you start on baby step 1, is make a budget. Back in the day when we were doing it, we would go on a piece of paper and write down everything that we had coming in, everything that we had going out, what's left over at the end of the month, what can we afford to do to pay off this bill, what can we afford to pay off this bill.
And the littlest things you spend things on too.
Exactly. Every piece. When you go to Starbucks,
are you going out to lunch?
That's $8 that you have to take off your budget because you went to Starbucks. So Just make sure that everything is there. Dave Ramsey has a great app. The app is called Every Dollar app. It's free, and you can just plug it into your phone and get all the information. If you want the paid version, it will actually link all of your accounts together, and it does it for you, except for the cash purchases that you have to put in. Right now, we've switched over, and my budgeting for the household right now, I call it a reverse budget, something that I just made up. I actually pay into our investments before we do anything else. So I put a certain amount of money in each one of our accounts, and that money left over at the end, that's what our household is. So we get everything in the household paid off with just the amount that's left over after I pay myself. And then what we do is we actually take the extra money that we didn't use on the household, we put it into the high yield savings account, and once that grows, we buy something for the house. The thing that we bought for the house last time was a brand new oven and a brand new microwave. The thing that we're saving up from that now is going to be a refrigerator, and after that it's going to be a new dishwasher. So you can do a reverse budget, but you have to make sure that you have that money first to pay off your bills. Now we'll go with FSD. Back to FSD. It tried to park, it did park, but it's in the middle of everything. So I'm going to take over now. Obviously, you saw the signs coming in, and we are at our local election office. So we're going to go in and vote. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.